Hello and welcome back to my channel, Emma Jane's Garden. So today I am going to do some floristry. I know it's been a while since we've done any. I've obviously been doing it, I just haven't been showing you guys. And I thought today was a really good day to show you what I'm doing. So I've got 3 bouquets going out today. It's Tuesday. I've had a flower delivery from BJ Richards this morning as well. So just add some of my flowers because I had that little blip earlier in the year. I don't have a lot of annuals, which are my little sprinkly sparkly bits I like to put into my bouquets to make them mine. So I'm finding a new way to do my floristry, and actually I'm really loving my floristry at the moment. I think it's really pretty. The colours are amazing, and I think I've found my colour palette. I've never been one for pastels, and I think I am. I was always big, bold, bright colours, but when I look back at past work that I've done before, I'm now looking at it and it's just a little bit, I mean, they're lovely. They are lovely, especially if I go back 4 years to when I properly started doing floristry. Very novice looking. The colours just a bit clashy, and although I know some people love that sort of clashy colour, me myself, I'm really enjoying working with the flowers that I've got at the moment. So I have got to make 2 bouquets in these boxes today, and then just one normal sort of gift bouquet. So I've got 2 of these boxes already made up. I ordered these direct from Oasis. So Oasis Floral online. That's where I get all my sundries from. It's just easier. I get everything from there. Although I just drop them. I have actually just found a new company who I am ordering some new boxes from. Very similar to this, but they've got liners in them. Because I have started using cellophane, because I just worry about my flowers being out of water, because of the sort of flowers they are. They're not like you get in Asda or Tesco's, or sometimes even just general florist. You know, they're not gerbras. They're not. I can't even. I mean, obviously I do have alstroemeria, but I can't even think. Chrysanthemums and all that sort of something that stays out of the water. Think of all the flowers that you see in Asda. My flowers aren't that. So my flowers do struggle out of water, and especially when people are giving them as gifts and they're going to a party or they're travelling somewhere and they've got like a half-an-hour journey and they're just sort of sitting on the back seat wilting away, they're just not going to let their best. So I now offer everything I do in water. My standard gift bouquets don't come in water, but I do offer an option now. If they want them in water, it's an extra £2.50 to put the cellophane round, and most people actually do say yes. So but yeah, so this new box that I found comes with the liner, so that I'm not having to do the cellophane wrap, because I really hate making water bubbles. I'm going to do one today, so in fact I'm doing 2 today, so I will show you how I make the water bubble with the cellophane. So yeah, I initially didn't want to use cellophane because of it being a plastic, etc, etc, but it is a plant-based plastic, and I have gone for the biodegradable plastic, cellophane, sorry, but actually I don't know if there was a need to have gone for the biodegradable one. There just wasn't a lot of price difference, and I just thought for me it sat better. But cellophane is cellophane is a plant-based plastic anyway, so it's still gone through some sort of chemical engineering to make it like a clear plastic, so it's obviously not great for the environment. But I'm just finding my jam jars just weren't big enough. You know, my flowers have evolved that I'm now doing luxury gift bouquets. So most of the bouquets that I send out are at the £50 mark. And actually it's quite rare that I get them lower these days. I mean, I get the odd £25, £30 bouquet, which people can come and collect from me and then take off, and I know they're not going very far. But again, that's why I've started offering the bubble as an extra if they want to keep them in water. But most of my bouquets are, people order them for me to deliver to somebody else, and I think they look lovely in the boxes and the vases and stuff. So, and it's a really easy way to transport them because they're already in water. I haven't got to then dry the stems off and everything. I'm rambling, let's get on. So let's have a look at the flowers that I've been and picked, and the ones I got from BJ Richards as well. So from my garden, we have got some molly, some lavender. We've got these drumstick alliums. We've got some larkspur, some raspberry leaves, and some mint here as well. I've got some mint, variegated mint. This is the pineapple mint as well. I did have some apple mint. I don't know where I've put it. Then in this one, I have got the verbascum. This is the Southern Charm. I've got some astilbe. It's just going over. This is the last lot of the astilbe. So I haven't had, it's the first year, and I planted this 4 years ago. First year I've been able to harvest it, and I've only had 2 weeks out of it. And that's it. But the rain's just killing everything. Then we've got this cool rat-tail statice. I love this stuff. It's brilliant. And then I've got this, and I can't remember what foliage this is. That's really annoying. I love it though. If I can remember what it is, I'll put it on the screen. And then from BJ Richards, I've got the Alstroemeria. I absolutely love these Alstroemeria, and I love them from him because they're always really big. They're way better than you get most places. And then I've got this really cool, this is actually a feverfew. So it's not focusing. There we go. But it looks like tiny little, almost like chrysanthemums, but it's not. It's a feverfew. And I just really like it. I think it's really pretty. We've got some stocks as well, and some Canterbury bells. So, but I really love these. I love this colour. So you can see that the colour palette I'm going for today is pinks and purples, and that does seem to be a theme in my work at the moment. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is take all these buckets off the table, clear the table down a little bit because it's a bit of a mess. And then I've got a recipe in my head ever so slightly. So I know when I was cutting this morning and when I was ordering, the larger bouquets are generally in 3s and 5s. And the smaller bouquets are in 3s. So the 2 larger ones will have things in 3s and 5s. So the cheaper sort of flowers like the Dorcas. Oh, I didn't mention the Dorcas, did I? The Dorcas will be in 5s. Actually, I might have done that in 3s, you know. Oh, never mind. The feverfew will be in 5s because actually I can cut these down into smaller bunches. 3s for the Canterbury bells. And only 1 in the smaller bunch. So my it's a £25 bunch that's going out. And I'll only put 1 in of the Canterbury bells, and along with some 3s of some other bits that I've got here. So the other ones that are going out are my £45 bunches. Hence they've got the box and their bubble. So there are just that little bit more. So they'll have 3 of the Canterbury bells. So basically they're going to be my star of the show kind of flower. Sorry. And then the rest is kind of filler. The Alstroemeria are absolutely stunning, but I use them as a filler because they just give really nice background to. I put them in low, and it gives a really nice sort of background to all the other flowers. Anyway, so this is everything laid out. So we've got 3 of this foliage, 3 of the astilbe. We've got 5 different types of mint, 5 of the rat-tail statice, 3 of the molly, 3 of the Dorcas, 3 stock, 5 variety of the Alstroe, 3 of the buttons, 3 of the larkspur, 3 of the Canterbury bells, 3 of the drumstick alliums, 3 of the verbascum, and then I also I've got this which is actually drying. It's limonium, and it's actually quite dry now. I don't know if it's going to pick it up. It's got lovely little purple flowers, but I've had it for a few weeks and it's just started drying out. But actually it makes a really lovely filler. So that's everything that's going to go into the bouquet, and let's get making. So we're going to start with the Canterbury bell. And then we're going to make our typical like cross shape if you're going to be making. So I want that one in the middle. So we're going to come around, and like I said, always put these a little bit lower. And then what should we put next to this? I've got a long one of these. So you've got to have your middle, your back, and then your front as you start of your cross. And that's how you start all of your hand ties, and then you start adding. So I always add this way and then that way, and then twist this way, that way, twist this way. Anyway, let's get on with this. So that's the bouquet made. Just a few little tweaks to do to it. I always just like to have a little bit of a shuffle. I didn't put all of this in the end because it's just quite heavy. So I've just been taking, it was all the way down here, so I've just taken all the little bits off and used it sparingly, like in little places. I actually really like this limonium in it. It looks really pretty. So I cut off the stems when they're getting too long, so that when you're trying to do it, you can't move your belly. And then what you need to do is just, I tend to just push very slightly on the stems, and you can feel the ones that want to go up, and then you can pull them. Whatever you do, don't pull it from the flower like that, because it will just pull the flower off. If you're going to do anything like that, you want to get your 2 fingers in under a bunch of flowers and then pull it very gently. So you can see I can pull this guy right up and out like this, so that he's up further. Actually, I might bring them all up a little bit like this. But the rest is looking lovely. So there's definitely, see what I mean, my colour palette, it's gone pale. I'm definitely a pastel girl. I never used to be, but I can't get enough of this colour palette. It's just gorgeous. Oh, I love it so much. I really do. Right, let's tie this one off. And so what I do for tying off is I've got this raffia, because I actually got this idea from Georgie at Common Fine Flowers. Because the raffia, I've told you before, I was getting fed up with the raffia. was just rubbish. So I've ordered some of this, but do not, if you order this, I'll put the link down below of what, where I've ordered this from. This is from Amazon. Don't get it wet, because I find that it's not very strong once it's wet. It's fine once it's wrapped, so once you've wrapped it and it gets wet, it's fine, it doesn't disintegrate. But if you try and pull it when it's wet, so yesterday I was making bouquets and it was Monday. I don't know if you are in the UK and you remember we had that awful weather on a Monday in July. Awful. I was picking yesterday, and then I had to come and make a bouquet, and the flowers were still damp from being picked, and every time I tried to wrap this around it, it just kept breaking every time I tried to pull it tight. So don't get it wet. I've noticed that a couple of times, so I'm not sure I'm 100% on it, but it's definitely better than the raffia I was getting. My go-to is normally a bit of green string, which I do find looks just as good, so I don't mind. But I'm going to use the raffia on this one because I've got it here, but I did go and buy myself some new green string, as I was getting a bit fed up of it when it was wet. But it's not wet today, so we should be fine. So this is my bouquet. I was just seeing if there's anything else I can put in it, because I've got flowers from yesterday still here, and I was wondering if there's anything else I can put in it, but I think we're okay. So just going around a couple of times like this, you can't see, just like that, and then what I do is, so this is why you need it not to break, is I try not to put my bouquets down. I haven't got a lot of faith in this raffia at the moment. To what I used to do is just hold it in the air and do it, because I don't want any of this coming unravelled. There you go. Or if you really are struggling to do it in the air, what I do is I just lean it on the edge of the bench so that the flowers aren't squashing each other. So you lean in the binding point on the edge of your bench, and that means you aren't going to squash any flowers. And then I can't really show you, but then I lean the stems on my legs to stop them falling onto the floor, so it's still in an upright position. Okay, and then all I do is, and you can see that it's been a hand tie because of the splayed stems. So if you ever get flowers, I'll show you. So the reason we do a hand tie, if you're wondering what's the difference in a hand tie opposed to like a bunch of flowers that you get on a market stall, well, a market stall won't be made like this. So you'll get them and now, can you see that? Immediately it looks tiny, and that doesn't look like it's worth the money. I know it is because I've done my maths, so I know it is, but look, watch how much bigger it looks. So as soon as you squeeze it, everything goes in together, and then it just causes rot, and the flowers all bruised and squashed. So we don't want that. I'm just going to push some of the astilbe up a little bit, because that's kind of one of my stars here. There we go, and then we're just going to give it a cut. So this is my box that I'm going to be putting it in. So I need to measure, my binding point needs to be here. Okay, so this needs to be here. So I know I need to cut that much off the bottom. Because the way these are being wrapped, if I was giving it as a gift bouquet, I'd leave them a little bit longer, just so that people can cut them themselves at home into what vase they have. But I know this is going up, and it's going to be in water tonight and most of tomorrow, because the lady is buying them and she's travelling up country to a funeral. So these are to go to members of her family. So as you can see, got the binding point. There we go. Okay, and the stems are still splayed. And one of the things I like about putting this into the bubble of water in the cellophane is that they stay like this, whereas when you try and put them in a jam jar, I was noticing they were squishing together to be in the jam jar, and it just wasn't giving it that wow factor anymore. They were just kind of flowers. So definitely looking good. Right, I'm going to just pop these in some water while I make the others, and then we'll start wrapping these. Okay, so we've got the cellophane, we've got our boxes, obviously always making sure you've got your branding on. Put a little ribbon on there as well, the raffia ribbon. Got the cellophane, and then we've got some tissue paper. And that's what's going to wrap these. Now I'm going to try and move you so that you can actually see what's going on. Okay, so we're just going to measure out a bit of, kind of in a square basically. So you want a square of the cellophane. I'm going to do two. I'll just do one for a minute. I need two in a minute. And then I've already measured my bouquet, so I know it's the right height. So this is the second one here. Okay, put this in, so just give it a... Hello! Oh wow! Hiya! Okay, so what we need to do is make sure that the flowers, I keep sliding off, is in the middle of our square. And then what we're going to do is, this is my little hack, it's just how it works. If you flick it really hard, oh I've got flowers in the way, like this, it actually sticks to the flowers. It's a bit of static. And then we're going to go for the opposite corner, and again like this, and you see it sticks. You need to make sure that your binding point for your raffia is exactly the same binding point that you've used for your flowers. And then we're going to go for this corner. So you're just going to open this corner up slightly and bring it up. And this is where it gets a bit more tricky, and this is where practice makes perfect. Because I actually don't enjoy making these. I find them, I feel they're sometimes a little bit messy, but they're not too bad. Right, around, that side. Okay, and then we're just going to grip this side now, and then we're just going to bring around this last corner, same again, opening it up, so that you're getting the middle. It's just, if they're folded in the wrong direction, just unfold it. Because what you want to make sure is that you've got enough of the cellophane around so there's no holes. So when you pour the water in, it's not all going to come out. Okay. So that's it. I'm just going to gather these bits in like this. And like I say, just making sure that the binding point is in the same binding point as it was before. And then we've got the cellophane. And just pull the cellophane out. Because the cellophane is going to make a nice collar around the flowers. Which means you're not going to need to put any tissue or anything around them. Sometimes I do. It depends on the size of the gift bouquet. This one should be fine as it is. Give it a bit of a whack on the table to make sure that the stems are straight. And then we're going to get our bit of raffia, which make sure you pre-cut, which I haven't done. Especially if it's a bit damp, because you want to be not getting these wet. But luckily we're all right today. And then we're just going to go around that binding point again, making sure it is still at the right binding point. Go up if you have to. There we go, around again. And go around a couple of times just to make sure it's secure. You don't want this coming undone, whatever you do, especially if someone's going on a car journey like mine. You don't want this water emptying out all over someone's car or someone's precious work surface. So making sure this is really tight, and then tied, and then I keep finding bumblebees today, or honeybees rather. It's the first time. I've really worried this year. I didn't think there was many around, but today there seems to be loads. Okay, so that's our bubble, and then we're just going to pour some water in. Let me just move you that way ever so slightly. I don't want to push you off. Okay, so I don't have a tap in here, so I use a jug and a bucket of water, which I've got here. If you do it this way, make sure you, before you tip it in, make sure you wipe the bottom of the jug, because if you've got tissue paper around here as well and then you start pouring, get the tissue paper really wet. It's not so bad if you're just using cellophane. So we're just going to go around, clear this, and now we're just going to find the middle of the bouquet. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to find the middle of the bouquet, and because we've done this in the spiral method, it's the bouquet's open quite nicely, so you'll be able to see it. If you've done it in the other method so that they're straight up, you'll find this bit really difficult. Spiral method is definitely the easiest. And then we're just going to pour straight into the middle. And all being well, it's not pouring out the sides, and it's just going straight down. You don't have to be too accurate because the water will just find its own natural course down the stems. So that was one. What is this? This is a 1 litre. So let's go again. It's going to need. Normally it's about 2.5 litres of water into each one. If you had a tap, you could probably stick it under the tap. You'd need one of those really tall taps. Okay, and you can see that it's filling up nicely now. And then all you want to do is just make sure that it really is. So I can see there's a stem here that's out of water. That was one of the Stilby stems because they were slightly shorter, so I'm just going to put a little extra in because that needs to be in water. Oh, and that's what happens if you don't make sure you're in the middle properly. That's what we don't want to happen. So if that had had tissue paper around it, that would have got tissue paper wet. So that was me trying to do it too quick. Too quick. Right. Hence the reason, always have a towel. Always have a towel with you when you do something like this. Okay. So that's all in water now. I'm not worried about that at all. So that just came out of there because it started pouring down here. It went down one of the other stems. There we go, so that's fine, that's not going anywhere. And then what we're going to do is find our, I'm just going to squeeze it in, so you don't want to make sure that you haven't overfilled the bubble, so that you can get it in. Oh, might overload it a little bit more. In you go, in you go, in you go. There we go. And then you just want to go around and make sure that all your cellophane is straight and that it's not doubled over on itself anywhere. And that's your done. So it's dry. And there you go. So you can see that's the finished article, and you see it looks really pretty like that, so it actually gives it a bit of a collar as well, and they're all in water. Okay, so that's the flowers done. Oh, I've got it on the wrong mode, you can't see them. I'll show you in a sec. Yeah, so I've got the 2 boxes and I've got the gift bouquet. So this is the little gift bouquet, little £25 gift bouquet. Real pretty. This is really nice. It's a little thank you to somebody. Beautiful. So that one's going to go in water to be delivered, just in a bucket. They're going to be in, so that's fine. And those 2 are in a bubble. Sorry, there was a bumblebee in here a minute ago, a honeybee, and now we've got flies. And I've just had a frog plop in along the driveway. It's like nature day. What's going on? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and press the bell icon so you know when there's more videos coming up. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.